one more round, okay? One more round. He's exhausted.
You know, I'm really glad that this is a really tough fight for you, because if you win it, the victory is so much sweeter.
So we're in the final round. And this is becoming a desperate affair now for Chris Eubank.
Eubank just looking for one punch, the punch of his career.
Kevin! Kev! His shoulder's gone! His shoulder's gone! His shoulder's gone! Move!
Groves being put under pressure. Bobbing and weaving though, keeping his wits about him. Hands down by his side, bobbing and weaving on the ropes.
Use your shoulder!
Good right uppercut from Groves, fighting out of the corner. Groves all of a sudden at a standstill. Becoming increasingly weary under pressure from Eubank.
My bad, I'm tripping. This was obviously the last round of the World Boxing Super Series in one of the big fights for the World Boxing Super Series. In fact, technically, in my opinion, the biggest fight of the 168-pound tournament in the World Boxing Super Series, Groves versus Eubank Jr., where in the last round, George Groves dislocated his shoulder and then popped it back in. But nonetheless, he beat Eubank Jr. in the last round with one arm. At this point in time, I couldn't cover the fight. I couldn't watch it live. I was in the hospital and, no access to the fight. And it's very, very difficult to be able to watch the fight online. And somehow, some way, I did it. I can't tell you how I did it. But long story short, I always thought that Chris Eubank was the fighter that he was in there that night. He's never really been that good to me. Now, let's talk about the fucking monkey on the back of this fight. And the elephant in the room is that this fight is taking place in Saudi Arabia, Jeddah. Two fighters from the UK that could sell out easily an arena there. Maybe a small, stadium-ish, not Wembley, but it's in Saudi Arabia. Why? Is because my understanding is that they owe a fight to them for whatever, meaning the World Boxing Super Series owes a fight to them for whatever reason. Remember, Usyk versus Gassiev originally was going to be in Jeddah. But injury happened and they, moved it over to Russia. In this case, Groves versus Smith has to be there. I'm picking George Groves to win. Callum Smith has, he's still a little, green. 24-0 with 17 KOs. Nicky Holtzkin, he dominated that fight with the jab, even though Holtzkin was, giving him some problems, especially for a guy that nobody really heard of. Eric Skoglund, Luke Blackledge, and he's going up against a potential Hall of Fame fighter in George Groves. Now, years and years, we got a history. Me and George Groves have a history. He's one of the only boxers that have ever blocked me on Twitter for some shit I did years back. I did a post-fight video, him versus Carl Froch 2. And it went viral. So at that point in time, on YouTube was totally different. Completely different. There wasn't many boxing YouTubers doing what I'm doing now, as in it's a bit oversaturated now. But it wasn't that many people. So at that time, I had something like 100,000 views in one day on a video, a post-fight video where I slaughtered him. I'm talking about I let him have it. I'm talking about I was calling him all kind of bitches and pussies, and this was way before I got into media. This one I was, the guy that just went on YouTube and just said whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted, no consequences, gave no fucks. So me being a huge Carl Froch fan, he was going against my homie and he got knocked the fuck out. Obviously, I could easily pull it up and show the footage of the knockout. But no, man, I'm calling the truce. And I understand the truce right now. We had a little something going because he allowed me onto his Instagram. Well, he didn't allow me on. It's open, but he ain't blocked me. So, I slid into his DMs a couple times and said, yo, man, what's up, man? Everything should be cool. Like, that shit was years ago. You know what I'm saying? It's not good to hold grudges. So then the video ended up doing like motherfucking like 180,000 something views or some shit like that. Like I'm talking about like when it maxed out, and the like dislike bar. Remember when we used to have the like dislike bar where you used to see like all the fucking red, you see red and green. It was just like 700 green and like 2,700 red like dislikes. Not only because people wanted to see the fight. Now, I didn't clickbait. I never clickbait. My shit always says post-fight results. Not full fight. None of that shit. So I went on Twitter, and then I was reading the comments, and the comments wasn't about the fight. The comment, like, the comments wasn't about, like, you fucking wanker, where's the fight? The comments was about who the fuck you think you are. You would never accomplish the shit that George Groves ever accomplished. And somehow I didn't know that like George Groves had like this big, like what area is he from over there? It's like this big following he has where he's from. And a lot of people didn't like that he got knocked out. So moving on. Right now, when you look at the 168-pound division as a whole, in my opinion, he beats David Benavidez. In my opinion, of course, he's fighting Callum Smith. No disrespect to Callum Smith. He beats Callum Smith. He beats Anthony Durrell. He beats Rocky Felding. This would be interesting on how his chin would hold up, but he beats him overall boxing skills, and he beats Roberto Ramirez, and he beats Jesse Hart. No disrespect. I'm going to be talking to Jesse Hart this week in a few days. Jesse Hart, was on his way to fighting for the WBO championship again. You've got the guy who's supposed to fight Caleb Plant, but Caleb Plant is injured, so we don't know who's going to step into that spot. Rocky Felding versus who? I forgot who they were talking about he was going to fight. And then David Benavidez is likely going to be fighting Anthony Durrell. And that's the 168-pound division. In regards to Chris Eubank Jr., he can stay where he's at. He can stay wherever the hell he's at. I mean, look at George Groves' resume. He's made some good, solid business decisions. These two, Chris Eubank Jr. and Jamie Cox, were in the World Boxing Super Series. Defeated Chutinov fight. He finally won his first title after losing to Carl Froch at IBF titles. Title and WBA, correct? Let me see. Let's go back and check. And then, remember, he lost to Badu Jack when he tried to go the WBA route. So he went the IBF route, then failed. Went the WBC route on the Mayweather-Berto undercard, failed. And then, now he finally succeeded in the WBA. Yeah, it was for the WBA and the IBF. So he's had a real, tough time getting to a title shot. Even if it is just shooting off, he finally got it. And looking at the resume, Chris Eubank Jr., Jamie Cox was a head case, so, then you got to count his title fight. I'm hoping that Eduard Gutinek is okay. I haven't had remember, dude was in a coma for a while. I don't know if he's still in a coma or if he's still, hurt or whatever. Martin Murray was still credible at the time. And then these were the comeback fights. After losing to Badu Jack on the Mayweather-Berto undercard. That was very good strategy for him to get on that undercard for American exposure. I covered all of these fights. Every single one. It's crazy. But, times have changed. Like, he's much more mature as a fighter. He don't, remember, he had the reputation with a lot of boxing fans as being like a little fucking pussy, I guess. If that, listen, I'm just saying that this is what the people are saying, not me. I mean, I did at one point in time, but now I'm like, George Groves can really, dominate, But maybe it's just wishful thinking. I'm sure people are going to say, you're just sucking George Groves' dick to get back on his Twitter, mate. George Groves is not good. He get knocked spark out. Anyway, it's going to be on September the 28th on ITV box office in the UK. No U.S. television rights as of yet. But I wouldn't be surprised if they try to shoehorn it in some type of way on the Zone here in the States. I'm confident that this fight is probably going to end up on the Zone. because the Zone over here in the States has picked up the whole entire World Boxing Super Series Season 2, which is the 118-pound division, 140-pound division, and likely they said it's going to be a third division. It hasn't been announced yet, but it's likely going to be the 175-pound division, which was confirmed by one of the partners in the World Boxing Super Series, Kalle Sauerland, who was talking about on Twitter how they were trying to sign Kovalev. So obviously 175, right? But so far, the World Boxing Super Series, man, has impressed. I'm really happy with it. Let me tell you what happened. I was supposed to get to the Murat Gassiev. I forgot which fight. Which one? He had a fight in Jersey. I was supposed to get to one of their fights. I couldn't make it. I was really sick. This was before I got gravely ill earlier this year. I couldn't make it to the fight. And I was really upset about that. Hopefully they have another World Boxing Super Series fight sometime here for 118 or 114 in the New York or Jersey area. I'll be able to get to it. Maybe even in Atlantic City. I got to shave my nose hairs. I'm sorry. I got to go. I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. Like I said, a lot of fans are pissed because it's like, what the fuck? Why would they put this big UK clash of these fighters in Saudi Arabia? But, you know, that Arab money, man, they could do whatever they want, except when it comes to Khan. You know, remember, they were supposed to put up the money for Pacquiao versus Khan a year and a half ago, and they didn't. By the way, it's 10:06 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, August the 13th, 2018. I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live with FightView360.com. Please subscribe. Oh, if there's anybody, matter of fact, if there's anybody in Saudi Arabia or in Jeddah or the Middle East or anybody who wants to go to this fight, I can get you there. However, we got to talk and everything. I think we should shoot for this. If there's somebody that want to go out there, or if somebody already on their way out there, why not go as media? I can hook you up. Obviously, you're going to have to work. So don't be coming to me to my some, you're going to have to work. This is TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. Please subscribe.